All right, everybody. Final week on containers. Are we excited? Are we excited to put our containers away again? Because I feel like it's the one thing that whenever, like, we do a container search of the week every week in classes, we do one container search. And when I started doing it with everybody, there were some groans. Now we see improvement because we've been doing them so often that where it's no longer the painful experience that it once was. But especially when you're training by yourself, I feel like it's a lot of effort to set up containers. It's just, so you have to load them, you have to age them, you have to put them out, you have to age that picture a little bit, all the bending over and the putting them down. It's just, it's not my favorite thing either to do. It's certainly the thing that I practice the least with my own personal dogs. Hence the container search of the week that we've been doing. So hopefully you found that the work through then this really has kind of been a hybrid session, right? Because once you get to elite, you can have hides outside of the boxes with the boxes still present. I was really pleased in watching the videos this week that nobody was obsessive about it needing to be in a container. And sometimes we can create that, especially in that as they come up through at least NACSW, it all starts with a container search, right? And we can inadvertently build some really big problems later by creating stickiness on specifically containers or specifically boxes. So I was really happy to not see any of that. This is our last lecture for the session. So are there any questions about containers? I was looking, and I think Kelly posted it in the group on the debriefs. They just did one in Newfoundland, PA, near me, with a container search, a toolbox search in a gym. And then the whole room was in play. So the toolboxes were just part of the search. It wasn't a container search. So we're definitely, seeing stuff like that. But any questions about executing the container stuff? Okay. Last challenge for the week or for the session is I want you to lay out a formal container search in some respect. So for some of them, maybe 2 rows of 6 boxes, kind of looking like an ORT, something like that. And in your environment, you are also going to have hides. So I want you to have a close proximity. This is kind of our grand finale. So close proximity in the containers, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, where we had those side-by-side containers. Close proximity in the containers. And then 1 or 2, I'll leave it to you in terms of what type of space you have. If you have a bigger space, you might be able to get away with 2. If you have a smaller space, keep it to 1. But 1 hide kind of outside, and this is inspired by that search that was posted in the group from Newfoundland, PA. But 1 or 2 hides outside, kind of your standard room, area hide, whatever, chair, table, anything that kind of you would look at, not intentionally tricky, because the trick here is just getting them to expand their search from the boxes, because most of them are going to come in, they're going to see a formal container layout, they're going to say, this is containers. And what we're looking for is, can they pursue productive area, even in spite of their expectations telling them that containers are valuable? And you can play around with, like, that's one I definitely want to see, but you can play around with making the containers negative and only having the hides in the environment. You could play around with not having any hides in the environment and only having them on containers. You could play around with doing this off leash to see what the freedom is of the dog. If the space that you have is safe for that, right? Questions?
So how many containers do you think we should do? What do you think? What would be your ideal?
I would say 12 to 18 is usually a standard, you know, unless I'm doing one of those like 50 container searches in Elite or something. But even if it's going to be like that, it's typically a container search only.
Mhm.
If it's kind of the standard setup of containers, and the intention here is so that the setup almost tricks the dog.
Okay.
So that they see something that they're really familiar with and they know how to execute. And then you're asking them to pay attention to positive space.
And for the close proximity,
Mhm.
2 or 3? Or up to us?
I'll leave that handler's choice.
Okay.
Depends on what part you want to work. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I would say that if that's a hard skill for your dog, do 2.
I think he's pretty good at it.
If you feel pretty confident with it, you can do 3. But the thing that I
Okay.
really want to see is how much attention do the containers draw
Raw, yeah.
versus them seeking out
Working
the
odor.
area. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. I am picking up a puppy on the 22nd of December. It would
Fun.
be really nice. My goal is to have all of my online classes wrapped up by the 20th, so I can only focus on puppy and I don't have to worry about other things. So if we could have videos posted by like the 19th or 20th, I know the last week usually gives you a little more time because we take the 7th week off and I don't review until week 1 of the following session, but this week, this is just a little bit different. So if you can do me a favor and just post those, my goal is to do all my classes on the 20th and like button everything up and just be able to focus on puppy for Christmas week. Okay. So,
Are you going to tell us more about the puppy?
what do you
Or
want
is
to
it a
know?
secret?
No, she's not a secret. I've been talking about it. She's Belgian. She's from the same
Okay.
litter that cannoli, or same breeder
Oh.
that cannoli is from, in California. So I'm going out. It happens that the breeder lives like 15 minutes from my parents' house. So I'm going to go out and spend Christmas with the family. And hopefully she doesn't wreak too much havoc on their, I keep telling them, like, you know, save pants you don't like these dogs hang off of clothing. So I don't know how much she's going to be like that, or if she's going to be more like Cannoli. Cannoli was rather subdued when I first got her. She's not anymore, but she was when I first got her. So I don't know.
Exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a little nuts. Like, I'm a little crazy, but I'm excited. I'm excited to meet her and find out like who she is, you know?
Mhm.
All right, everybody.
Okay.
I will see, and then I will see you on the 30th for session 35, where we're dealing with the elevation with balance. So we're going to tackle that from a little bit of a different angle.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Good
Thanks.
night, everybody.